press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello everyone. In today's class we will start a new chapter, that is water, a precious resource. Okay, I don't think this chapter needs any introduction. Okay, we all know how much water is important in our life. Okay, so water plays a major role in all the life of all the living organisms. Okay, so water is one of the basic need we all need. Okay, can you imagine your life without water? No, right? We hardly can, because water is the necessity. We all need water. We need water for drinking. Okay, we cannot stay without water. Without drinking water, we'll feel thirsty. We'll feel very uncomfortable without drinking water, right? So water, on a daily basis, we need water for drinking. Yes, of course, and even for cooking, right? On almost all the dishes, we need water. Yes, and we need water for bathing, for cleaning our houses, for cleaning ourselves, and washing clothes, washing utensils, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so water plays an important role in all the life of human beings. All right, and not only human beings, I am saying water plays a major role in almost all the living organisms. Okay, even animals need water. There are few aquatic animals which live inside the water itself, right? So without water, they cannot stay alive. They'll die. Okay, for example, yes, aquatic animals, that is fishes. We all know about these aquatic animals, and also even the terrestrial animals also need water, right, for drinking, and even the plant lives. Okay, so if the plant is not watered for few days, the plant will die. Okay, so even for the plant lives, water plays same important role as it does in our human life. So basically water is the most important need we all need. Okay, so in this chapter we'll going to study about how important water is, about how water is maintained in the earth, and about scarcity of water. Okay, so yes, water has all these innumerable uses, right? Even for the human beings, living organisms, and all these plants and everything, we know all that. Okay, so water is most important, a factor we all need. But the thing is, water is getting scarce. Okay, so scarce means the water is insufficient. Okay, the water, whatever we are having, it is insufficient to meet our demand. Okay, and why is this happening, and what are the measures we can take up to reduce this scarcity? Okay, so all this in detail we are going to study about this in this chapter. Okay, yes, we have seen the importance of this water, right? So water plays a very important role in our lives, for drinking, bathing, cooking, for plant life, animal life. Okay, so see, plants basically need water, and we need plants. We all living organisms, directly or indirectly, we depend on plants, and plants depend on water, right? So we get food, we are alive because of water. Okay, if there is water, there is life. Okay, if there is water, there is future. Okay, so water is the most important basic need for all living organisms. But this water is getting scarce. Okay, scarce means insufficient water. Okay, for whatever our demands are for this water, it is insufficient to meet the demand. Okay, why is this happening so? Okay, where do we get water from? Okay, what are the sources of water? Yes, one of the most basic source of water is rainwater. All right. So this rainwater, yes, we will get. We know about this rainwater. We will get this every year in its seasons, right? we have rainy season in which yes we'll be having rainwater, and that rainwater, yes, it gets into plant life, like it falls on this surface. Okay, so plants absorb this rainwater, and we too, human beings, can harvest this rainwater. So basically we can use this rainwater, and this rainwater, whatever it is, it fills the ponds, rivers, lakes, reservoirs. Okay, so basically it fills the reservoirs. So in one of the sources of water. Okay, that is one of this rainwater and surface water. That is, just now I said, ponds, lakes, rivers, oceans. Okay, so these are this surface water. Okay, and why is this called surface water? Because see, these ponds, lakes are lying on the surface of this earth. Okay, hence these are called surface water. And there is one more source, that is groundwater. So now what is this groundwater? See, surface water means the water is present on the surface. Okay, on the surface we can clearly see these waters like ponds, lakes, rivers, reservoirs, like this. But what is this groundwater? As the name says, ground. Okay, the water present inside the ground. Okay, groundwater. On the surface we can see the soil, stones, gravels, right? But as we go deep inside the soil, even there water is present. Okay, so as we go deep, okay, we can find this water. Okay, so that's what we get. We have these wells, tube wells, bore wells, right? Okay, so when we are digging the bores, what do you think where the water we get from? Okay, that is exactly from the ground. Okay, so from the ground we will get this water. Okay, that is nothing but the ground water. So basically these are the sources of water. Okay, so now water is a natural resource. Okay, that we get from rainwater, surface water and groundwater. Okay, so basically surface water is the water present on the surface, that is nothing but these water reservoirs, ponds, lakes, rivers, oceans, etc. And also about this groundwater, yes, we find this groundwater inside this ground, and that is what we get, that is from where we get our water in wells, tube wells and bore wells. Okay. So this is about the sources of water. Okay, now we have learned the sources. Okay, now we all know where do we get this water from, what is its source. But do we know how much water is available for us? Okay, if we see a picture of earth, it seems almost blue. Almost all the parts of earth seems to be blue. That blue is because almost more than 50%, that is almost 3/4 of earth is covered with water. Okay, our earth, okay, almost 75% of the earth is covered with water. That is ocean, in the form of oceans and everything. Okay, so basically we have too much of water present in earth. Okay, but how much of water is available for us? Okay, that we'll see. For example, if see we have, let's take a bucket for comparison. This is just an example to make you understand how much water is present and how much water is available for us. Okay, for example, if we are having some 20 liters of water in this whole bucket, we have some 20 liters of water. Compare this with the water present in the whole earth. Okay, this is the total water we have. Okay, in this water, in this whole bucket of water, take out a spoon of water. Okay, just a spoon. Okay, so in this whole bucket of water, whole 20 liters of water, we'll take out a teaspoon of water. Okay, so this amount of water, when I'm comparing this bucket of water to the whole water present on the earth. Okay, so while I'm comparing to that, and when we take out this a teaspoon of water outside, and this is a quantity, this is the amount of water available for us. Okay, so just imagine, no matter how much water is present on the surface of earth, we hardly can use it. Okay, we only have this much of water. That would be some around 0.006% of water we are having, okay, which is available for us. Okay, basically this ocean, seas and everything, they contain the salt water. Okay, we hardly can use it. Okay, so for us the source of water is the rainfall, the groundwater and the surface water. Okay, that counts only this much of water. Okay, so we already have only a small amount of water present for us, which is available for us for everything. Okay, for drinking, washing, bathing, for everything. Okay, we have only for even the plant life, for animals, we have only this much of water, and that too it's getting scarce. Okay, even that amount also it's reducing. Okay, so now we can just imagine what our condition would be if we run out of water. Okay, if we are using water too much and if we are wasting too much of water, there will be a day when we won't be having water at all, and yes, of course it affects our lives. Okay, so now let us see the forms of water. Yes, we all know water basically has three forms. Okay, that is solid. Okay, solid. The water is present in earth also in solid form, in liquid form and also in gaseous form. Okay, so the water present in the solid form is nothing but snow or ice. Okay, in the polar regions, as we can say in Himalayas, in polar regions, okay, there will be no icy mountains. That is nothing but the water in the solid form. Okay, so liquid form is the same. Okay, these ponds, lakes, rivers and everything, that forms a liquid form of water. And again we have this gaseous form of water that is present in the atmosphere. Okay, so we have all three forms of this water. Okay, so we'll have all these forms of water, and know how a water quantity or the amount of water is maintained in our atmosphere. Okay, on earth we have water in three forms, and how does it maintains a constant percentage of this water. Okay, though it's getting scarce, by the way. How water is utilized, or what happens. Okay, what we'll see now. Okay, so now let us study something called water cycle. Okay, so what is this water cycle? Okay, water cycle means movement of water within the earth. Okay, so how water moves inside the earth. We have rainfall, we have these surface water reservoirs, that is ponds, lakes and everything. So how exactly, or what happens, okay, how water circulates. Okay, that is the thing about water cycle, how water is moved within the earth. Okay, that we will see in detail now. Okay, so water cycle is nothing but the movement of water within the earth. Okay, so let's have a schematic diagram here. Okay, so here we have, this is the water body, sea, oceans or anything. Okay, so here we have water body, and here we have land. Okay, we have vegetation and everything. We have anything, something like that. Okay, so this is the land. This is the water body, ocean, seas, etc. Okay, so yes, and we have our ultimate source of energy here. Yes, we have our sun. Okay, sun forms an ultimate source of energy for us. Yes, we have studied in our previous chapters how sun is the basic or ultimate source of energy. Okay, so what happens here is, yes, sun, what does it provide? Yes, it provides us the light energy, which is further used to convert into different forms. Yeah, so basically sun provides us this light, the heat. Okay, so that when sun rays falls on earth, when it falls on these water bodies, so this water present on the surface of this earth evaporates. Okay, so this water, what happens? Evaporates. Okay, evaporation. Okay, understood? We are having this sun, okay, our ultimate source of energy, and sun provides us the heat, and because of that heat, the water, what happens? The water starts evaporating. Evaporating is nothing but the water present in the liquid form. Okay, so we are having ocean here, and yes, that is in a liquid form. Okay, basically water has three forms, right? Solid, liquid and gaseous. So here what's happening is, because of this sun, the water present in the oceans, in the surface water, the reservoirs, this water starts evaporating. Okay, evaporating is nothing but, evaporation is nothing but a process in which the liquid form of water is converted into gaseous form. Okay, because of this evaporation, instead of this liquid form, while evaporating, the water forms small droplets. Okay, small water vapors. That process of conversion of water, of the liquid water into the gaseous form, is called evaporation. Okay, so this accumulates, this water, it forms, most of this. When I am saying like, it's not only a small place or in a one place of this reservoir. Okay, when the sun is present, it affects the water present overall present on the earth's surface. Okay, so this is a major amount I am saying here. It's not only this amount. Okay, so when there is evaporation, okay, so these water vapors, these moisture droplets forms clouds. Okay, okay, so yes, the water evaporates, which means this liquid form is converted into this gaseous forms. Okay, the water vapors. And now what happens is, now this water vapor collects, okay, accumulates at a place, okay, in the atmosphere. Okay, so this gaseous, this water vapor collects or accumulates to form clouds. Okay, so this process in which again this water vapors accumulates and forms, this is nothing but the liquid. Okay, so the clouds are nothing but the small water liquid droplets. Okay, so again this water vapor is converted into this clouds. Okay, and that process is what we call condensation. Okay, the water vapor condenses to form liquid water drops, which further forms the clouds. Alright, got my point? Okay, so the liquid water evaporates. Okay, so evaporation is a process in which the liquid converts into the water vapor, and these water vapors present in the atmosphere, they rises up. Okay, they get warm. Okay, when they get warm, we know that they start moving to the more lighter place. Okay, when they start moving, they start collecting. Okay, these water vapors collects together, forming a water liquid droplets. Okay, and they form in a huge amount. That is nothing but clouds. Okay, again these clouds, what they do is, okay, so these clouds, okay, so the whatever water we have, it is formed into these clouds, and these clouds undergo precipitation. Okay, so what is precipitation? Precipitation is nothing but condensation of atmospheric water vapor, okay, under the action of gravity. Again, these clouds condenses, okay, due to this gravity, and it falls as rainfall, either as rainfall or snowfall, or it drizzles sometimes. Okay, it has a few forms, but the major form is rainfall. Okay, so here firstly we had evaporation, and then this water vapors condenses to form the liquid water drops. Again this water breaks down, okay, again this condenses due to the gravity. All these clouds, due to the gravity, they fall down. Okay, and that falling down may be in the form of rainfall, in the water droplets what we usually see, or in the form of snow, okay, where we can found in the polar regions or something, can be snow, or it can be in the form of drizzle, only small water droplets, far away it falls like that. Okay, so this precipitation may be in the form of, okay, rainfall, okay, this may be in the form of rainfall or snowfall or drizzling. Drizzling is nothing but rainfall only, but the water droplets would be very small. Okay, so when this water is falling down, okay, from these clouds, it again fills these water bodies, right, and also it falls on this land. Okay, and when this is falling on the land, okay, what does the soil do? Okay, so this soil absorbs water. Okay, we have studied about the chapter soil, right, and we have seen the soil absorbs water. Okay, so when this soil is absorbing water, this forms groundwater. Okay, so here it forms the groundwater, and here we already have the surface water here. Okay, so this is how water circulates in our atmosphere. Okay, in our earth, this is how water circulates, and this is what we call water cycle. Okay, firstly, due to this ultimate source of energy, that is nothing but the sun, okay, due to its sun rays, due to its heat, the water present in the water bodies, that is ocean, seas, rivers or anything, okay, that water starts evaporating. Okay, that is nothing but conversion of liquid water drops into this gaseous form. Okay, so that happens, that is process is nothing but evaporation. And then what happens? So this water vapors together forms or together condenses. Okay, the term we have used here, condensation means it's a process in which these water vapors, okay, they come together and they form a liquid droplets of water. Okay, that is nothing but together it forms a cloud. Okay, so again if these clouds condenses due to the gravity, these again condenses. Okay, so condenses or these precipitates in the form of rainfall or snowfall, or it drizzles, or any that form would be anything. Okay, again this water falls down on this earth surface. When this falls down to the same water body, again it fills this water body, again evaporation happens, and again condensation happens, and the process repeats itself. Okay, so that is nothing but the circulation of water. Okay, when this water falls down in earth, that is on the land, on the surface, on the land surface, this forms, when the soil absorbs all this water from the rainwater, this forms something called groundwater. Okay, so this is how groundwater, we get this groundwater. Okay, so this is a water cycle where we come across the terms evaporation, condensation and precipitation. Okay, I hope you understood this. Okay, so we were talking about the scarcity of water. Okay, so now let us actually study about water scarcity. just to say we have so much of water present on this earth, we have that much of water, okay, so that is not the thing, but because whatever water we have, we are available of, it's very, you know, a negligible amount compared to the whole amount of water present on earth, okay. So that nowadays the water is getting scarce, okay. So the scarcity means water scarcity means insufficient okay. So water scarcity means insufficient water resources to meet the water demand, okay. We have so much demand of water, okay. Every single person present on this earth, okay, every single human being, every single animal, every single plant, okay, all need water, okay. So just imagine the demand of water that present on this earth, okay, but that is the reason the water is getting scarce, okay. So now let us know the causes, okay. Why we are running out of water, okay, why there is shortage of water, okay, and the reasons are overpopulation. Yes, this is one of the major cause. Okay, just now I mentioned every single person present on this earth needs water. That yes, we know the importance of water. Water is a basic need. We need water for drinking and everything, etc., etc. Okay, so that we know. Okay, when one person needs that much of water, okay, so just imagine when there is too much of population, when there is population explosion, as we say. So just imagine as the population increases, the water demand also increases. Okay, so but the water resource is the same, okay, but the quantity is same. So okay, that much only rainfall we are getting, only that much surface water is present, only the same amount of groundwater is present, okay. But here when the water demand is the same, the water sources are the same, okay, the quantity or the amount, but the population is increasing. Okay, so there is imbalance in this nature, okay, the imbalance on this earth, okay. Due to that the water is getting scarce, and the most important reason is because of this overpopulation, okay, because each and every individual needs water, so that's why we are running short of water here. And yes, okay. So one more thing is rainfall only during few months in a year, okay. Do we get rainfall all the seasons or all day long or every day? No, right? We have in a year we have some season called rainy season, only that some 3-4 months we will get rainfall, and again whole year we don't have rainfall. Okay, we have just limited rainfall. If we were having rainfall all year long, then there wouldn't be a question of water scarcity, okay, or availability, would have been having water everywhere, okay. But the thing is we don't have, since we have just seen rainfall is one of the most important source of water, right? So since rainfall is the most important source, it's just only a few months we are having this. Only a few months of this we are having this rainfall, okay. So that makes it more important to save water. And one more reason is deforestation. So what do you mean by deforestation? Deforestation means, yes, cutting off trees. Cutting off trees is not like cutting one tree or one plant or something. Here when I am saying deforestation or cutting off trees, it means on a large scale, okay. People are cutting forests and many number and thousands of trees for maybe because of industries or to keep, make out new factories or something, okay, for any commercial need, okay. Because of our need we are just deforesting Okay, so how deforestation, okay, is a cause for water scarcity. See what happens, just before I mentioned about the groundwater, right? So groundwater is present inside the soil, inside this ground, okay? So these trees present, or the big plants, whatever present, their roots, okay, their roots penetrate deep inside this soil and they hold the water there. Okay, so the groundwater, they hold the water there, and if they if they are not present, if the trees are the one, okay, so like they maintain the soil. Okay, if trees, we have learned that if trees are cut, there will be a soil erosion, right? So the upper layer of top layer of the soil will wash away. The same way the trees holds, hold the trees roots, okay, the roots of the trees penetrates deep inside the soil and they hold the water. Alright, so if you are cutting down that trees, of course there won't be anything to hold the water and there won't be any water present inside the ground. Okay, so that makes a water scarcity. And yes, okay, another reason would be pollution from industrial waste. Okay, pollution from industrial and urban waste. Okay, if there is industry somewhere around, okay, somewhere around the water body, so whatever the industrial waste would be, that again industrial chemicals or something, that maybe gas or something, it mixes in the atmosphere, it mixes with the water vapors and affects. Yes, of course it does that. And also whatever the water bodies present inside, present near these industries, okay, that chemicals would get mixed in the water bodies. Okay, and again it won't be potable, it won't be for the drinking purposes, or we cannot use it for personal use, right? So that forms a water scarcity. Okay, so these are one of the major reasons or the major causes we come across of this water scarcity. Okay, now you might have understood the term scarcity means. It means we are not getting water, it means insufficiency of water. Alright, so why is this water getting insufficient? Okay, so these are the reasons for that. Still we have many more reasons. Okay, so these are one of the important ones, and yes, we need to, seeing all this, yes, we need to manage water. Okay. Yes, now the question is, why do we need to manage water? Okay, because the sources are limited. Okay, we only have few sources of water, that is rainfall, surface water and groundwater. Okay, only we have these many sources, but the demand and due to the increasing population, that is increasing, but the sources remains the same. Okay, so we need to manage these resources. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is about the water scarcity. Okay, so now let us see what are the significance of water. Okay, what is the significance of studying water scarcity? Because as I have mentioned earlier, water forms the basic need. Okay, so water forms a basic necessity of all the living forms. That's why we need to, okay, we need to know about this water scarcity, and we need to manage this, and we need to intervene in this water scarcity. Okay, we need to stop wastage of water. Okay, how do you stop the wastage of water? Okay, we can do it individually. Okay, so we can make a huge difference. Okay, a small change can make a huge difference. Okay, when you are brushing your teeth, don't just leave your tap open. Okay, you can just off it and you can brush properly, and again then to wash your face again we can open. Few people, what they do, they will be brushing and here the tap will be running. Okay, here the water will be flowing. So that's how we are wasting water, right? And even while washing utensils, okay, when you are just scrubbing, you can just off it, the tap. Okay, likewise these small changes can even save, okay, even if you save a single drop of water, that will make a huge difference. Okay, so these drops of water, okay, this forms a huge quantity. Okay, even when we people see there is a leakage in pipes or something, we can do something, okay, to stop that. So likewise, these are the small measures, okay, in which we humans can play a role and we can save water. All right, yes, we can plant trees, okay, since deforestation is a reason for water scarcity. Deforesting is cutting off trees, right? We can go for planting trees, okay, that is afforestation. We can plant trees, that's how we can maintain water amount, and also we can save the organic soil also, okay. So in one way we can help both the natural resources, we can help both soil and water quantity or the amount to be maintained, okay. So we can plant trees and also we can control the population, okay. So these are some of these measures we can come across to maintain or to prevent this water scarcity, okay. So this is for today's class. In today's class we have learned about the introduction, okay, and we have learned in brief about this water, the water cycle, okay, and about the water scarcity. In the next class we will see more on this chapter. Thank you.